So last time I took these two devices out, we did some quick auto tests between the two, but today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my normal kind of street photography in this beautiful park that we have here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot both in manual mode, and I'm going to be sure to show the settings on screen for each one. That way you guys have an idea of what we are shooting with. So just in case you guys didn't know, there are actually different ISO channels between the two devices, meaning that the lowest ISO on the One Mark 5 on the main sensor is going to be 25, whereas on the One Mark 4 on the main sensor, it is going to be 64. So when comparing photos, just because the ISOs aren't exactly the same, does not mean that the technical level of brightness isn't the same. It depends completely different on each device. So I'm gonna do my best to keep the shutter speeds at a decent speed so that's not too blurry. While also doing my best to keep the ISO as low as I can. With these ones, it looks like we're also going to be able to get a look at the flaring between the two. Oof, there's also mosquitoes everywhere. I don't really like the flaring going on with the 1.5 at the moment. I'm trying to keep my shutter speed as low as possible, which is hanging around 1/3 of a second at the moment, and it seems like I'm pretty much able to hold that for now. So that's gonna allow us to keep the lowest ISO possible. I will say with the One Mark V, it is incredibly convenient having it switch from landscape to portrait orientation, and having this little button right here to press really helps when it comes to slow shutter speeds, because as you can see on the One Mark IV, if we turn it, nothing changes on the interface. It's really annoying, and pressing the button while holding it in portrait orientation is a little bit more difficult than being able to just gently touch the little button at the bottom. So while I haven't been being sure to match exactly the settings between the two, I try and keep it basically the same exposure just based on my eye in the moment, but do stay tuned until the very end. I'm going to be able to set up a little scene, and we're going to make sure that these settings are matched, just like I was talking about before. We're going to start off at the very base ISO of both devices, and we're going to move up and directly compare so we can see the differences in noise levels between the two, depending on which ISO and shutter speed we are at. So as we can really see from that last shot right there, we let it run super long, so about 8 seconds with the lowest ISO on each, and we can really see the main differences in the sensor. I feel like between the 1.4 and the 1.5, we can see just how crisper the One Mark V is. Alright, so here we are back in the apartment, and I have got my little setup going on right here. So just like I was talking about earlier in the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up, and we're going to start off with the base ISO for each device, and then we're going to go up 3 steps. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise the ISO 3 times, and then we're going to change the shutter speed 3 times as well to maintain the same exposure. And we're going to compare head to head, each of them going up 1 stop each time. To be honest, I was pretty scared for the Xperia One Mark V because I didn't notice a whole lot of difference between the two models, especially during the auto test, but I think those last photos there with the really long exposure, I think that really helped to show just how much better the new sensor is. So we're going to jump into these ones as well and see if we can see a big difference or not. thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this comparison somewhat useful or helpful, and please do let me know down in the comments what you guys would like to see in terms of Xperia 1 Mark V content. Like I mentioned earlier, I was a little bit worried for the 1 Mark V in terms of actual tangible improvements, but I think, at least for me, that the improvements that I've seen now are more than worth the upgrade in my opinion for that new main sensor. Do also let me know down below what you guys think. Is this good enough of an improvement for you? Are you going to upgrade? Is it too expensive? Do leave your opinions down below. Thank you as always for watching, and have a great week.